Hello and welcome to Shrinking with Carrie. I'm Carrie and I'm shrinking as we speak. I hope you'll join me. Please subscribe and return and see how I'm doing on my journey. It's been a little over 3 weeks. At times I felt it was 6 months already, like shouldn't I be thin? But that's kind of the attitude that got me fat in the first place. I want what I want when I want it. So I actually have been really good about staying in the moment and taking this one day at a time. In fact, a lot of the videos I've watched with other people who've been successful in their weight loss, if you look at their early videos, they have a positivity and a passion for what they're doing. They are so driven and not easily discouraged. And that's the place I feel like I'm in no small part, not just because of success, but because of nutrition. Everything in life feels better and looks better and is more something you can cope with when you are getting proper nutrition and proper sleep. So that's playing a large part in how I'm feeling too. I still can't believe just a few weeks into keto, I don't have pain in my joints like I used to have. My sugar is under control. It's been under control for weeks, which is amazing. I'm doing all of this with no medication. I'm so happy and over the moon about that. So I know I said I wasn't going to weigh myself until September, but I changed my mind about that for a few reasons. One, I'm in a good headspace about the numbers. I'm in a place where I'm unsinkable. I can't be discouraged. I was pretty sure my weight had stalled. My weight loss had stalled. I'm going by my clothes, which were getting bigger. And also, when you really know yourself so well, when you get very good at understanding weight loss and have lost weight before, my highest weight was 259. Thank goodness I've never gone back to that. But when you get to that place, the numbers can't really discourage you. And I am really in a zone with my eating and my nutrition and my ketosis. So I want to make sure I'm looking at the numbers, all of them, my sugar, the ketone strips, and also the scale. So I know what's working over the course of weeks and everything. So I was hoping to be under 200 pounds by September 1st, and that's when I was going to weigh myself. But I did weigh myself an hour ago. Excuse me. And I haven't eaten yet. I'm just having my coffee. So as of this morning, I am 210 pounds. Now, I don't know exactly what I started at, but I know it was probably like in the 30s. I gained a lot of weight when Rona came along and we all were under lockdown and we stayed home and in our rooms like veal. I put on weight very quickly and I was comfort eating and boredom eating and you name it eating. So why I think I'm having success is because number one, and this diet is really very good for me. It suits me well. I I got off the carb merry-go-round. So I don't have cravings. I don't have, my appetite is suppressed from intermittent fasting. So that's really been the greatest part of this is all of the benefits of the intermittent fasting and everything that that's doing for me. I probably won't be under 200 pounds by the first. I'm older. My weight's probably coming off slower, but now I can keep track of how much I'm losing every week. And I'll tell you what, I promise you, if that scale doesn't budge for weeks at a time, I'm still keeping at this. I am so fully committed to nutrition and healthy eating that I know my body will get on board, and I'm staying in that headspace, and I've reversed my diabetes. I wake up with a normal blood sugar, normal meaning somebody who's not diabetic. It's not as low as it could be. This morning it was 110, 210, 110. It could be lower, but that's the safety zone. After I eat something, I've checked, I don't check it as often now, but I checked at first to make sure it wasn't spiking from what I was eating. And of course, if I have my half Ezekiel muffin on days I feel I need some more carbs, it spikes a little bit more. Like it could go up to like 155, 160, but typically after I eat, it only goes up to like 130, 140. That's the safety zone. I've done that without medication. I don't take any medication anymore, and that happened very quickly. If you have any diabetic in your life, I urge you to ask them to ask their doctor about a low carb diet, because I think It is a life-saving diet. I think it is life-saving to get off the carb merry-go-round and help heal your insulin-resistant body that has become so malfunctioning due to the American diet. I can't tell you what a different world it is for me. I was feeling 80 years old. I was like, how am I going to make it to 70 if I'm 52 and I feel like I'm 75? How am I going to make it that? What am I going to feel like then if I'm in pain all the time, every day? I mean, I was thinking my arthritis was so bad and I was in so much pain. I wasn't really connecting that with my diabetes, and I should have. I connected the other things like mood and headache and anxiety, those things that can stay higher too. I connected that, but I never really thought of all of the inflammation. Diabetes is not just a degenerative disease, it's an inflammatory disease. I have so much ground to cover, so I could spend a lot more time on that, but I just can't believe what a new lease on life that is for me. How many more spoons I wake up with. Speaking of waking up, it's only about 6:30 right now, so I apologize for this lighting. I was kind of playing with the light, and if I go a little bit higher, I'm washed out. A little bit lower, it's too dim, so I was trying to find that happy medium. The sun's not up quite yet, and it's a low-budget gig, so I apologize. So yeah, my weight probably won't be under there, but you know what they say that I think is so true? The race is long, and it's only with yourself. My goal is to have my steps go in the right direction. I'm not in a rush. And another thing that I think is a very important attitude, because you get control of your hunger, and then you get in this mindset, and you start changing your habits, and your body will follow. You get thin up here, and you get fit in your thinking before your body gets fit. It is a long road back to fitness, but I'm just, making sure my steps are in the right direction, not comparing them to anyone else's, and not relenting one single bit in my commitment to my health. So, that being said, I will be sharing recipes and things, but it's very basic what I tend to eat. Some days I do OMAD, one meal a day. Depends on how I feel. And it depends on if I want to go on a long walk or do a lot of exercise. I will, incorporate more, just a little bit more calories. I have started the exercise this past week, and that has really made me feel even better. I do yoga in the mornings, I stretch, and then later I do a combination of yoga, weights, and dancing. So I'm so drawn to the dance. I don't know if you know, but I was a dancer when I was younger. I don't know why that's embarrassing, but I've always been a dancer. I hear the call of the dance and I must go. I love it. And so I will do, like, I used to do ballroom dancing. I was a champion Irish step dancer. There's a little tidbit a lot of people don't know. 2 competitions, 2 feshes, 2 first place medals. I could kick my leg. I was friggin' gorgeous. You kick my leg to the ceiling. They went on forever. So, I will have pictures. I have some before pictures. I don't really want to look at them until I have more progress. Right now, I'm focused very much on my nutrition, how I'm feeling, my exercise. I am shrinking. But here's why I think a lot of people get discouraged. When you first start to shrink, I think expectations can be different in people's heads. I remember when I first started shrinking, and you go down from 259 to 230 pounds. You're like, why don't I look thin yet? I just lost 19 pounds, 29 pounds. What happens is when you first start shrinking, you are the same shape. That's why you and the people who live with you or around you don't really see it. Yesterday, for the first time, my husband looked at me and was like, have you lost more weight? I'm like, I have. Yes, and thank you. Somebody said they thought my face was thinner. It is, and I thank you. This is not exclusively about vanity, but why would we do all this hard work if we didn't want to see change, right? I really look forward to all of the things that will make life better as a smaller person, as a fit person. I love clothes, and for years, I've never gone into a dressing room in 30 years. I know what's going to fit me, and cover me. And I usually will buy stuff that looks like it was made by Omar the tent maker. And I was telling my husband yesterday, yes, the good news is my stomach is flatter. The bad news is it was holding up my boobs. What can we do if we don't laugh? So I feel like I'm not going to worry. I mean, I'm 52, so if I start to get maybe loose skin or look like someone let the air out of me, I don't care. That is not the person you're stuck with, and that's not as important as shrinking and getting that dangerous weight off my middle. That's more important to me. And I know I'm going to look so much better. I have that to look forward to, but I have the energy to look forward to. I already have so many more spoons in the drawer that I can get a lot more done. Some other things are changing for me too, though. I have a drama channel. I don't want to do drama anymore. I feel like it's something I did with the junk food. It's the junk food of YouTube to do drama. So I'm just in a very positive place, and I don't really love that. But also there's nothing to talk about. If something comes up and I think it's a good scruples issue, I do like to have that kind of conversation. So I'm not abandoning that channel. I just haven't had much to say, and this has been my focus, as well as a crime podcast I'm doing with my friend Dee, which I'll link below if anybody is interested in true crime. We really love it. We do deep dives into lesser known and very famous crime stories, and the ones that are coming up I think are very good. That's been fun. I've been able to partake of my gardening, passions that I have for organizing my house, which could use more organizing, but so can any house all the time. But I do gardening, I take walks, and you don't know, for me to be outside in August is crazy. I can tell you all of the things that have changed just in 3 weeks. I'm not as temperature sensitive. I could not stand to be warm. I still much prefer things to be chilly, but I go outside anyway. And I think that's been helpful for my vitamin D. And of course, I'm always masked up, even when I walk in the park and nobody else is. I still, take that precaution, but I'll go outside anyway. I don't let it stop me. I love walking in nature. I just love it. I like looking and seeing the chicken of the woods mushrooms and pointing out different things and seeing animal. We took one walk one night and I could see deer. It's just really a lot for me. It does a lot for me. So I've kept that up. So the temperature thing is kind of a weird change that I've had. Of course, there's being pain-free, and now I'm able to exercise, and it doesn't feel like it's a punishment. It feels like it's the best part of my day. It feels like it works hand in hand with what I'm eating. And when I eat, I don't feel like I have to lay down like a sea lion on the rocks at SeaWorld. That's another nice side effect. Yesterday, my husband asked me for a Tums, and I haven't even had to have one on me. I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I don't get heartburn anymore. Every couple of days I have a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, or I'll put it in my dressing when I make my own salad dressings. I don't buy a lot of things anymore because there's sugar in everything. There's sugar in your ketchup, there's sugar in everything. Yesterday I made my own tomato sauce on the stove for my own keto pizzas that I'm going to be making. I made, and it was really wonderful. Right now I have bone broth on the stove because that's a superfood. That's for your gut. I don't know what I would do without the bone broth. And there have been a couple of nights, every few nights or so, when I feel I need something. If I'm intermittent fasting, I will have like a quarter cup of bone broth, and that just, keeps you satiated and going. And it's wonderful. It's so good for your gut, so good for everything. I really like that stuff. Very full of minerals and potassium, and and it does have, of course, if you've got little chunks in there, there's protein and things like that. So I don't really like to have it when I'm intermittent fasting because my system is so messed up that it could easily knock me out of ketosis probably. I don't think I could do that as well as other people. I do think I was knocked out of ketosis before I had my strips that I had, and I felt like it took me close to 48 hours to get back into it. So that's another reason I kind of want to watch my weight every day and watch, all of those strips. I'm going to do my weigh-ins weekly now. And, I'll be checking probably at home every day, but I'll tell you how much I lost every week. And it's not a question of if, it's when now. It's a waiting game. Once you get everything aligned in your life, in your head, and you're eating healthy and getting the nutrition that you need, when you are going into fat burning mode, you can stay there, and it's a matter of time. And I am doing this without surgery, without medicine, without, and I feel very excited about the future of this. As a diabetic who no longer requires medication to keep my sugar down, I can't even wait to go into my doctor in like 3 to 6 months and get an A1C, depending on where the Rona is. I've been avoiding him, to get my A1C and have him tell me, that it's a healthy number, and then I can tell him, my metformin's been on the shelf for months and months. I don't take it anymore. I did reverse my diabetes once before, but it is so easy for my sugar to go up and spike. And for every 10 pounds you lose, you process sugar better. So I have nothing but better health to look forward to in terms of the keto, and I really enjoy it. And I don't even eat any desserts. I will share with you guys what I eat. I feel kind of lucky in that, being that I'm 52, I don't have the same appetite. Once I got that under control with keto, I feel like I don't need that much food. And before I know it, it's time to eat again within my 4 to 6 hour window, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing 20 and 4, which I like to do, or if I'm doing 18 and 6, which is probably what I should do, at least long term. But I was very eager to get those sugar numbers down. So I've been talking for about 16 minutes. I really have so much to say, obviously, on this topic, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. So I will definitely be back. I really appreciate that so many of you put comments below my last video, and I'm really excited to hear your stories too. And people who are trying to get back into this, I hope you have found that moment where the stars align for you, and you can, get back into it. I can tell you, for me, it started with that first time you say no to something bad for you. It gives you that little bit of willpower, is inspiring, and it gives you the motivation you need to say, well, I can go a day without that. And then before you know it, you don't crave that junk anymore, and you're craving salads and healthy foods and the things that I'm eating now that are improving every aspect of my life. And no, I haven't had the keto disaster pants that somebody was asking me about. I have not had any problems there, other than I just don't go as frequently because keto, and that's kind of what happens. You don't need to go as much when you're not eating a ton of food. Amazing. Glad we had that little talk too. And until next time, you guys, take care of yourself. We got this.